Welcome from Save Our Councils Coalition.
Yes, Aaron.
12 months ago, the local government was trashed when the state government forced council amalgamations. Around the state today at Gundagai, Gara, Tumbarumba and Holroyd in Sydney, and here we are today, communities rallying against the loss of local democracy. We've got representatives from Pittwater, Hunter Hill, Wallara, Randwick, Strathfield, Lane Cove, Ryde, Mossman, North Sydney, Orange, Willoughby. They're all here.
We stand before you as representatives of communities right across New South Wales. And what we say is this: we are absolutely determined and committed to winning this battle. Absolutely committed to winning this battle. We are winning at the ballot box. As you know, at the recent by-elections, massive swings in both the country, in Orange and in the city, North Shore and Manly and in Gosford. Massive swings over this issue. But today is a special day for victory in the courts. Victory in the courts, because over the last few weeks we've had a very significant victory in Ku-ring-gai, which has found that the whole process adopted by the government is actually fatally flawed and legally flawed. And today, this morning, in the High Court, Wallara, which was facing extinction, probably today, facing extinction today, was granted leave to bring its case, strong case in my view, to the High Court. And that is a great victory.
The decision of the High Court this morning goes partly the way to restoring democracy to the people of New South Wales. The Wallara Council successfully argued that the delegate could not have considered the full financial consequence without access to the full KPMG report. The delegate did not satisfy the requirements for a proper public inquiry. The delegate failed to consider the financial advantages and disadvantages of each individual council area. And that applies to every council in New South Wales. Wallara Council has been fully supported by all its residents. We have held the line against a bullying government, and we will continue to do so. Thank you very much.
For a Liberal-dominated council to be taking on a Liberal-dominated state council government is an important step in democracy. Let's make sure that the new councillors in the elections in September honour what the residents of Wallara want, and that is no amalgamation.
Look at Randwick on Tuesday night in a political backflip for some councillors. They supported, the Labor and the Greens supported the position to take its own action against this forced amalgamation of Randwick, Wallara and Waverley. There is a rescission motion with 2 Liberals putting that in, but I don't think there'll be any change to the position, and 10 councillors to 5 have voted for Randwick to take its own legal action as well, on top of what's happened today. And it's been a long time for Randwick councillors to wake up to that fact that they have, and we're on the bandwagon too. Thank you.
Well, today we've seen the High Court deliver the first birthday present to the Berejiklian Government's forced amalgamations agenda. And what they've said is, this is a dumb policy, and they're going to be looking at it very closely to ensure that the community and the law are being respected. So 12 months ago, the then Baird government, now Berejiklian Government, thought they could do a job on local councils and just amalgamate them based upon a con job. Well, the High Court has said differently today. And the High Court is saying they're going to have a very close look at the way in which the Berejiklian Government, the coalition, has tried to sneak through forced amalgamations and keep the truth from the public. Well, the public aren't being conned. Today, 12 months later, we're seeing more councils standing up. We're seeing local residents bringing their own proceedings in the Land and Environment Court to protect their councils. Randwick Council, Wallara Council, North Sydney Council, Mossman Council, Strathfield Council, across the state. They're standing up to a bullying state government. Well, we're in this together. Whether it's Greens MPs, whether it's Labor, Shooters and Fishers, Christian Democrats, Independents, everybody but the coalition in the Parliament is saying one thing: we're going to stay in this struggle and return local democracy. Those councils that are still facing the threat many of them in court. We won't let you stand alone. And regardless of the outcome in the court action, we will change the law to make sure that residents have the final say. And to all those councils that have been amalgamated, great places like Tumbarumba and Pittwater and Leichhardt, we will give those residents the right in a binding plebiscite to restore their local democracy. This is a long fight and we are going to win it.
Mrs. Berejiklian, you chose easily to stop the forced mergers of the outstanding forced mergers in the bush. There's absolutely no reason that you don't get the message that you can do the same thing, stop those forced mergers, the 14 that are still outstanding in the city.
Too right.
You can do that this afternoon by the stroke of a pen.
Or resign.
Then we need to go and we need to allow local communities that have been forcibly merged, areas like Gundagai, communities such as Tumbarumba, those communities in the city, they need to have the opportunity to decide for themselves whether they wish to stay merged or be demerged. That's a decision for the local communities to make, and if the Premier and the Nationals and the Liberals won't do that, then the Parliament will.
Well, this is a successful people's revolution against the government that's dictatorial, and here we see now the people's will being respected in Woollahra. We want to see it respected right across the state. No forced amalgamations. The Liberal government had to back down and the National Party said we won't accept it in the country areas, so a stop was put on it. But the siege is still continued in the metropolitan area. So the coalition government has to listen to the people, to the ratepayers.
Thank you everyone, and firstly I'd like to congratulate Woollahra Council on their successful appeal today. It's a step in the right direction and I'm sure it will continue. Look, this is a case where we saw what happened in Orange, in the electorate that I ran in November last year, and we've seen it in by-elections since. 6 by-elections in the last 12 months and only 2 members of the government have been retained. We have seen massive swings against the government in the last 6 by-elections, and the forced policies of forced council amalgamations is one of the key issues that's causing those swings against the government. So if the government thinks this is good policy, they better wake up to themselves and see the nature of the results that are happening not only in Sydney but in the bush, and the resentment that people have towards forced amalgamations. Our party has introduced legislation that will be coming through the upper house in the next couple of weeks to force a plebiscite on forced council amalgamations, and I expect that to get the support through the upper house with our colleagues that are behind me here today. I will then sponsor that bill, like I did yesterday with the nurses bill, into the lower house for discussion and debate, and we'll see then if the government has the intestinal fortitude to stand up to the people of this state.
7 weeks ago we had a wonderful win in the Supreme Court. We won on 5 out of our 6 grounds. Really, the state government did not have any way in which they could challenge that. This is why they didn't appeal against it. Not because they forgot the date, but because there were no grounds. And the main ground is that there was no financial process that had been followed. That's what we can imagine, because the KPMG report was secret. It was a phantom report. It's become a phantasmagorical report. It is just simply not visible. And that doesn't affect just Corinda, it affects Woollahra, it affects all councils in New South Wales, because as Bill Jenkins has said, this makes the whole process legally invalid. And I was appalled to see today in the North Shore Times that Gladys Berejiklian says she's still going to go ahead with amalgamation. I don't have the mandate to do that. All I can say is, let's keep the fight going. Congratulations, Woollahra, and Corinda will stand behind you.
Pittwater is having a meeting on Tuesday night at the Pittwater RSL, where we will be introducing crowdfunding, because the reason is we'll enable the people to have their say. We intend to institute action to save Pittwater, to protect Pittwater. We will win this case. Thank you very much.
The population of Delegate, where I come from, is 300. The population of the Bombala area is approximately 2,000. The combined population of our mega council is over 20,000. So here we are. We have less than 10% of the population. We are only going to have 9 councillors. We will not get 1 representative when it comes to a vote. Shame, it certainly is. What is even more shameful is we called upon a meeting with our Deputy Premier and our member to discuss representation, to discuss what will happen after September. He has not replied. Shame. We might have small numbers, but we still have exactly the same needs. We still need all those services, and we are losing them. We're losing them already because our council, our Bombala Council, is 100 kilometres from the centre at Cooma. Delegate is 150 kilometres from the central Cooma Council. So if we want to go to meetings, we have a 300 kilometre round trip for representation. It's wrong and it should be fixed.
City councils that have been merged, they claim financial benefits and savings and improved results. 12 months on, the plans are just coming out. These results are not being achieved in Northern Beaches, Inner West and Gosford. They're all falling dramatically short of the amalgamation proposals. It proves quite clearly that they're not being realised, that the metropolitan amalgamation proposals put to the community were seriously flawed and the community has been seriously misled. So we call on the government now to withdraw and de-amalgamate all the councils. So,
David, are there other avenues for the government when it comes to Ku-ring-gai?
If the government wants to have another go at Ku-ring-gai, it's got to start the process again. Have another inquiry, put out another proposal, and really ignite an already very angry community. That's months and months and months of misery for this government. And we already know what the community wants to say. Leave our councils alone and don't waste our money on a hopelessly compromised proposal.
Because it's not just governments, is it? It's community groups that could take court action as well. In fact, they already are. So are we talking, what, years potentially in the courts?
Well, we've seen just this week the first time that residents have come together to bring their own proceedings to save their councils in the eastern suburbs. But I've got to tell you, there are residents in Ku-ring-gai, there are residents in Mossman and North Sydney across this country. We've already seen residents taking their own action. Residents in the eastern suburbs from Randwick, Waverley and Woollahra commenced proceedings just this week to save their councils. And there are just as many motivated residents around the rest of the state, whether it's Ku-ring-gai or Pittwater or any of the other councils. This government is not just fighting councils anymore, it's fighting communities, and they're very, very motivated. The government already knows that once you merge these councils and create mega councils, you create a whole lot of additional costs. Layers of fresh administration, enormous costs in the IT and bringing it forward, and without substantial rate rises, all of these mega councils will fail. Now they want to put off the rate rises till after the state election, but no one should be fooled. Sooner or later, someone's going to pay. It won't be Gladys, it'll be those long-suffering ratepayers.
There's something just happened in Randwick a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, look, I can report that the councillors that were trying to stop Randwick appealing or taking action to stop the amalgamation and obviously succumbed to the pressure from the public and all of you, and they've withdrawn their rescission motion. So Randwick will now be also fighting in the courts against this forced amalgamation.